What's up, everyone? Red Tux TK here with another video, and this is the final town tour for Animal Crossing New Leaf. It's crazy how long this game has lasted for me. I've been playing the Animal Crossing series on and off since the release of Animal Crossing Wild World back in 2005. I was 15 years old. That was a while ago, because I'm 26 now. And it certainly shows that I've played New Leaf for a while because look at all these freaking towns I've made. That's stupid. Like 6 towns. That's dumb. And these are not like your noobish make a town a day type town. This is really like I worked hard on those freaking towns. So, anyways, if you haven't explored these yet, feel free to do that. Um, I honestly like looking at the list I have here. I can't think of any other town I'd really want to make as a dream town in this game. And I can honestly say for New Leaf, the dream towns and the dream suite, just that whole feature in this game is enough to buy it. Like that is, it's the one thing that the other three Animal Crossing games don't have, and it is pretty much the only reason to buy this game if you haven't bought it already. It's a great thing that you can actually make a town and put it online for people to view. That's just crazy good. But anyway, instead of just doing a normal town tour today, I'd like to do something a little different. Today I'm going to talk about how I stumbled upon the series and why I've played it for as long as I have. Um, but if you've been following me within the Smash Brothers scene, I want to explain why I use the name I do. So I'm adding this video to the Town Tour series because it's basically the last time I'm going to play Animal Crossing, unless the impossible happens. And this is actually the first time I've written down stuff to say. Like, this is a lot of stuff. I've never written something for a video, but I've had to do it for this one. Because there's just so much to talk about. I'm not going to remember it if I don't write it down. So I have it written down here, and here we go. So this is my story. I've honestly been quite a bit worried about making this video because of how personal it is. But also I need to apologize for the time it's taken to upload this. My mind goes back and forth when it comes to what I should and should not bring up in this final episode. And my reasons for playing New Leaf changed as time went on, but I want to talk about the motives I had from the beginning of its release. I hope this is interesting to you guys, and if you take the time to watch this entire video, it would mean a lot to me, because I see this as a way for me to get a lot off my chest. So if you stick it out to the very end, I'll be extremely grateful. So here it goes. Flashback to a month or two before Christmas in 2005. I can remember searching for a new game to play, and it was on DS. There was no 3DS. Obviously, there was no 3DS or whatever. I had my DS, and I was looking for a new game, and I knew what type of game I wanted to play. I just didn't know it existed yet. I remember just wanting to create a character in-game that looked like me. That's all it needed to be. And I'm not sure why. Probably because with portable games back then it wasn't all that common. Using the internet, I was almost sold on a game called Ping Pals, which to my knowledge was very similar to PictoChat. But PictoChat already came built in the DS. You could, it was a built-in feature. The difference here was that you could create an avatar for yourself within Ping Pals. But looking at the reviews for Ping Pals, that's what a lot of people were saying, that the game was just like a pay-to-play PictoChat. So that kind of scared me away from this game, and I began to search a little more. So long, I never actually played Ping Pals. I have no idea what this game is like, but who knows, maybe sometime I'll try to yeah, I'll get to play it sometime. Hint. But moving on, eventually I came across Animal Crossing Wild World, which at first didn't look appealing at all. The cover of the game made me think of Tamagotchi, like a 3D version of Tamagotchi. But looking a little deeper into the game's features, I found out that you could actually create a character by using hundreds of different hats and shirts. You could change your hairstyle using Shampooodle Shop and even your eye color. And on top of that, I could create my own house. So we went from just looking for a game where I could create a character that looked like me to an added bonus where I could actually create a house for that character to live in. And you could do that by using over 500 different furniture items. And pictures of the game showed off items like the Master Sword and the Triforce from The Legend of Zelda and the Arwing from Star Fox. So at this point, I'm like, okay, gotta try it, gotta play this game. And I wanted to play it so bad. And the idea that I could visit other people's towns over Wi-Fi was huge. Internet on a portable system back then was pretty new too, so I was excited about that. So that's what I decided to get for Christmas. My parents even let me play it before Christmas. It was awesome. I loved that each day I played, there was something new going on. If you can remember your first time playing Animal Crossing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just unlike anything. Um, it's a very unique experience. But sadly, even playing the game and seeing how good it was, and being able to go around playing each day to get new items, searching for that Master Sword, which I eventually found. It was like the greatest thing ever. Um, my Wi-Fi didn't work, so for I don't know, probably 8 months, I just played the game by myself, and that's kind of lame. I mean, you can't. This game, don't play this game by yourself. Like, if you're gonna do it for the fact that you're gonna build up your town, and that's what I did. Like for the 6 months I couldn't play online, I was building my town. I was making my town look stupid good, and um, the Wi-Fi didn't work because our router didn't support it. It wasn't like a wireless router. I don't know what happened with that. But anyways, um, eventually doing a little digging, we found the Wi-Fi USB connector, which at the time was like $40, and that's like more than a DS game itself back then. DS games were like 30, $35. This thing was 40, and me and my brother pitched in together to get it, and I totally used it more than he did. Um, so that's what we did, and eventually we got this thing, and I went to a website called the Animal Crossing Community, and it was kind of a slow process at first, but I had one person added, um, and so I went to his town, traded items, did all that, and then a couple more people that he had added came over, and then I added them, and then I went to their towns and added their friends until my friend list kind of blew up, um, and so that's what happened. My friend list was full. I would play this game quite a bit online, and I would try to be pretty nice online, and that's what's crazy about that game too. Wild World had game-breaking items in it. Like, you had hackers online that would come to your town and drop houses in front of your house. And so that's hard to explain. If you guys have ever heard of seeds in Animal Crossing Wild World, you know they're terrible. And if you haven't heard of them, you should totally Google that. But it's dangerous stuff, and I'm so glad they don't have it in New Leaf in some ways. Um, anyways, moving on. So I kept adding people to the list. The list was full, and eventually some of the people I played with, like, I had these kind of like my go-to people. Like, they became really cool people to hang out with. So um, these were like kind of became the only people I played with. So this is my these are, I made this picture like years and years ago. It's kind of hard to explain how I did that, but anyway, so these were the friends I played with, and they were all really cool. I could go into detail about every one of them. I could talk about a lot of things, backgrounds, you know, everything. It's stupid how long you know, I knew them. I would say I knew everyone on this list for at least 4 years. But there's one person on this list that I want to go into more detail about, and her name is Rebekah. And out of respect for her, I'm not going to reveal important information about her, and I'll try to explain why. Um, Rebekah stood out from the other friends I played with. One of the first things I noticed was how kind she was. Our lifestyles were very similar. She was involved with her church youth group like I was, and went on mission trips too, uh, like I did. We were also both homeschooled, and I can remember, going on a few mission trips of my own, and during those trips, uh, I'd send her emails or texts or whatever, uh, and then when I got back from those trips, we'd play Animal Crossing, and I'd tell her all about it, and send her letters in the game about it or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. And even when my family was going through some of the worst times, she was there, and I could vent to her and tell her all about it. She always listened. She was always very supportive and very encouraging. Um, and for the time she was in my life, she was one of my best friends. And even to this day, I can remember a lot of things about her. Um, Certain days when we talked, things we talked about. I can remember her brothers, her parents, her pets. Everything stuck with me because of who she was to me. Um, Somewhere during the first few years we were friends, probably within 4 years or something, we were playing Animal Crossing one day. Uh, and we had both decided that we needed new outfits in the game. So we stopped by Able Sisters, and we were gonna design these. Like we were not going to buy what we needed. You couldn't do that with hats and all that, but we wanted to make a dress for her and something for me. But she did all the designing. I totally didn't do any because I was terrible at making patterns back then. Um, so that's what she did. She started designing an outfit, and in Wild World, I used to wear like a blue feather. Blue is like, I'd say blue used to be my favorite color. I think red is now, and it probably switches every now and again. But um, anyway, she made a pattern called the Heartstopper, and it was a red tuxedo. And I cannot remember why she called it the Heartstopper. Um, but anyways, I would wear this thing in the game, and that was the design I decided to stick with through the entire game of Wild World. And I even used it. I pixel perfect copied it to City Folk. There was no QR codes back then. You had to, if you wanted patterns from your old game, you had to sit in front of your TV with Wild World on your DS, and then with City Folk playing on the TV, and you had to copy the pattern pixel for pixel, and that's what I did for City Folk, and then I had to do it for New Leaf as well. So uh, I never stopped wearing that design that she made. But anyways, that's kind of how I got my name. It's just something that she kind of designed for me a long time ago, and I stuck with it. And you know, I wouldn't want to create something like that myself and then use it, on some of the games I play. I It makes more sense to me to change my name to something that someone else has made for me than something else. I don't know. That's just me. But beyond Animal Crossing, me and Rebekah were able to talk to each other on Skype and on Facebook. My friendship with her was important to me, and honestly, it still is. And over the years, I had this idea to go see her someday. And it later became a promise I made to myself. Like, the idea of that just like, it grew and grew because we spent years talking to each other and playing games together. So it was a promise I made to myself that I'd go see her soon, and I explained to her on Skype when we talked, that we've known each other for too long for us not to hang out uh, and meet. And she seemed to like the idea, but she was also kind of worried that some of her family members, what they would think or whatever. Um, I don't know. So one day, she texted me. We'd always talk or whatever, but um, she texted me one day and she said, "I need to talk to you on Skype." Uh, and I asked if she could just text me instead, so she did. And she said in the text that she had a boyfriend, and I was like, "What?" I mean, I didn't say that, but I texted her back explaining that I wasn't too happy about it. Um, and that it would change everything between her and I. So I think for a while I'd always felt like I wanted my relationship with Rebekah to go beyond being just her friend. Um, so that text really upset me. For a while I took a break from talking to her. I spent about 2 months not texting her, not talking to her. And that was I didn't explain why. I just took the break. I didn't even tell her that I needed it. I just did it. That's how I felt. I just felt really down about the situation. I felt like I needed a break, so that's what I did. So after the 2 months, when it all sunk in, I texted her and I said, "You know what? I needed time away to think. I needed a break from this, uh, and that I was ready to talk to her about it. But unfortunately, that feeling was not mutual. Nothing has ever been the same since. And long story short, she deleted me on Skype, Facebook, and everything. Um, yeah. So over the past few years, I've messaged her saying that like every year or so, I'll try this. Um, I'll say things like I miss her and I've wanted to know what she's up to, and but anyway, it's not worked out. And all my attempts to try to fix the situation just go out the window. They never work out. So um, it's a shame. But anyways, my hope was that when New Leaf released, because this all happened before New Leaf came out. It was actually right before. I'd say a year before New Leaf came out. So my hope was that when New Leaf was released in the U.S., she would come back. Uh, she'd want to play again. Because I know how much she liked Animal Crossing, and I don't know if she still plays it or not. If she does, she probably went to play Happy Home Designer, but I'm not sure. I have no idea at this point. So I was hoping she'd come back and things would go back to the way they were before, uh, but this never happened, and not even close. I never got to play New Leaf with her, and that was quite surprising to me because I was friends with Rebekah for around 8 years, and honestly, if she ever messaged me saying that she would want to be my friend again, I'd be all for it. But the last time I messaged her was last year or so, around February or something, and it just hasn't worked out. My motives to play this game grew when you guys decided to watch me play. But now I honestly feel like I've done everything there is to do here. I've done everything in this game that I really wanted to do. But I wanted to share this story because I think it's worth telling, and I felt like I needed to share it. It means a lot to me, especially if you just sat through this 20 plus minute long video and heard me rant about this, because I needed to get a lot off my chest. It really helps that you guys listen. I use the name Red Tux in whatever game I play because it's a reminder of a very close friend of mine that I'll never forget. At this point, the only way that things can work out is if she decides to change her mind and messages me. It wouldn't matter how long it's been, even if it's years after this video is made, which I don't think she'll see this video anyway, but it's totally up to her. It's out of my hands at this point. But it wouldn't matter how long it took. But anyway, as always, I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about what I've just talked about down below. I never like to think about the things that make me sad, but if I talk to you guys about them, it really helps me. At the same time, I do believe this whole situation happened for a reason. Pardon me. And using this name in whatever game I play, I just feel better about the whole situation. Like, I feel like I'm staying true to my friendship with her. Which, right now I don't have a friendship with her. Hopefully that'll change, but I don't think it will. But anyway, thanks so much for watching the Town Tour series here on my channel. We've done a lot of crazy things here. I got 6 towns made. I've talked about the net glitch. I've hacked the game. I've showed a lot of hacking crazy stuff you can do in the game, which nowadays you can't do those same things because Nintendo updates their stuff and things change, but I'm glad I got to do those things when I could. We've been through a lot of stuff here. A lot of people, when they play this game, they care more about the animals than I do. I have noticed that. I don't know why that is. I mean, I think that's, I don't know. I'm not. I just kind of look at these animals in this game and I'm like, you don't have a soul, and that's kind of where that ends. But I don't know. That is the one thing I would say I'm probably not as good as other people. You know, when I approach the animals in this game, I'm just kind of like, you're not real and whatever. But anyway, once again, thank you guys for watching, and my eyes are watering because I'm getting a little sleepy and all that. But I appreciate you guys sticking around, and especially like the motives. Like I said, the motives to play this changed. Because when I started, it was kind of like me waiting for her to come back, and she never did. And then it became like one person watched a video, and I was like, okay, well, somebody's watching. And then another person did it, another person did it, another person. And the fact that I have, even if I had 100 subscribers, that would be crazy. But I have more than that now, and so I do believe all that crazy stuff happened for a reason. I hope things are resolved later on, even if it takes a while. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and it really means a lot. So thanks so much, and I hope you stick around. I've got a lot of weird, crazy videos coming in the future. Things are going to change here. Not going to say that I'm going to upload as much, you know, as I have, because at probably the same pace I'm going. I hate that every couple months I upload a video, but anyways, that's probably gonna be, you know, the same. But there are some different things coming, and I hope you'll look forward to that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It means a lot, and I will talk to you later. Take care.